Video number 2 for today. Jill, thank you for that. I just love it. I told the boys the story of the starfish the other day. They loved it. I said, "You're our little starfish." I said, "Is God asking us to save the whole world?" No. I said, "But did we save you too?" And they said, yes. They're so happy. They often thank me for, well, they just are so excited to bundle up and play outside. They're so excited to stay warm and clean. What? This is good. I'm not ready to go into the details, but I've given up plants. That's all there is to it. Those are the details. No more mustard, no more coffee, no more cinnamon, no more garlic powder, no more pepper. I just get it out of my face. I don't want to look at it. So, here's my decaf. I was in bed all day long yesterday. I think because I just quit coffee cold turkey. I don't know. I was drinking decaf regularly. So, I experimented. Oh my gosh, isn't it pretty? It's even pretty. It's a beautiful color. Kind of a butter color, if you will. So I took my butter egg coffee. Audrey, you ready for this? I just got rid of the coffee. So here's what I did. That much water, see up to that third line, maybe fourth line. Yeah, probably third. It is still separating out into this beautiful, what do they call that? What do they call it? Ombre. I'll show you. Do you see that? It's hard to see, kind of. Dark yellow. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm picking paint colors. It's like dark, light, white. That gradual kind of thing going on. My coffee used to do that when I would add coffee to it. Here's what I do. Before I packed all this up, before I put all this away, you know what? This is going to be CarniVLOG. This is just going to be a CarniVLOG. I don't care. I'm ready for the world to know. I've given up plants. We'll see how that goes. Amanda, look, I'm doing it again. Ooh, you guys. Sometimes I take the kids to school and I think, I hope I don't get pulled over or have to go in anywhere. Anyways, Amanda, you're exactly right, girl. I'm willing to show you all, like, kind of where I am currently. A lot of times I like to let some time build up so that I can report on it, but I also like to just be in the moment and say, here's what I'm doing. Here's what I'm currently doing. I've kicked plants to the curb. I've listened to enough videos. I'm convinced. They're cons outweigh their pros. And even people that are like swear by certain plants. Well, okay, don't hate me, but you might feel great on this plant you're on because you're on it. And if you got off of it, you feel bad, so you need it. That's dependency. Oh, thanks. Anyways. Okay. Here's my little decaf deal. I got rid of the decaf the other day. I also got rid of teas, which, all right. Here we go. Here's some details. I have very low blood pressure to the point where countless times now, doctors take my blood pressure and go, the nurse says, my machine must not be working. And I'm thinking, yes, it is. Go ahead, get another machine or try it again. And they do, and they're like, your blood pressure. Did you know that your blood pressure is very... Yes, I did know that. I did. I knew that because every time people take my blood pressure, it's very, very low. Ironically, it's right where it's supposed to be, but it's unheard of as low as it is. I told Greg once, I was like, is that bad? Is it bad to have such low blood pressure? And he was like, well, if it's too low, you'd be dead. So yeah, it could be too low. It is. There is such a thing as too low. Anyways, apparently mine's like in the perfect range, which is like, like who really, it's like a serving size. Wink, wink. 1 cup. Yeah, right. For what? A newborn? Okay. Anyways, teas. I've always wanted to have like a coffee routine. I've always wanted to have a tea routine. No, the Lord is like, no, Emily, that is not for you. You are not going to be one of these girls, these girls. You're not going to be one of these girls. I was about to say little girls. You're not going to be one of these ladies. Little girls. I don't know. I felt like I wanted to say something that started with an L. You're not going to be one of these gals that appears to have their whole life together. You know that look. Coat, scarf, football game, Starbucks. I've tried that so many times, and I get stressed out because it starts getting cold. And then I got 15 kids around me. I'm trying to enjoy it while I'm screaming at them. And then I got this cup I got to keep up with. I've tried so many times to have a good coffee and good tea routine because it seems like it would be very soothing, and it's not. It's stressful. It's like the battery data. The battery daddy. That's a tongue twister. The battery daddy I got rid of yesterday. My mother-in-law gave me this fancy battery holder, but you have to put the batteries in individual. It's like it has a lid and you open it up. It's a battery organizer, but they all have to go in there like no, get out of my house. I need a drawer, a bucket, a box to dump a bunch of batteries. The thought of having to put them in there individually stresses me out. These coffee and tea routines that I have desperately tried to implement over the years have done me no good. I quit. I'm over it. I'm done. And this morning it was very cold. I pulled up and there they were, teachers and principals all looking so cute with their coats and their coffees. But I was like, plants. Oh, no thanks. I'm having the same response to this plant thing that I did years ago when I started Bright Line Eating on October 24th and on October 31st. 7 days later, I was at the church Halloween trunk or treat kind of deal. And I did like a slow motion 360 and I was like, everyone around me is consuming this. That's kind of how it is with coffee. No offense. I have actually gotten myself in big trouble over the years implementing a coffee routine. I ended up with adrenal fatigue, which is why I had to cut out caffeine. I would try and drink a cup in the morning and try and drink a cup in the afternoon to the point where my adrenal glands went on strike. And I would not be able to, this happened to me 3 times before Greg was like, Emily, when are you going to learn? Galatians 4:9. Now that you know God or yet are known by God, why then do you turn back to these weak and miserable forces? Galatians 6:9. Let us not grow weary of doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. Let's keep going and let's quit turning back to these weak and miserable forces that I will speak for myself. I've been trying to get myself hooked on. I've been trying to have a coffee and tea routine for years. 3 times I ended up in the bed for 3 days, literally could barely raise my arms. Adrenal fatigue. My adrenal gland said, no, done, strike. We're on strike. No, woman, you are, excuse me. My adrenal glands were like, no. There's my featured kid for the month. My adrenal glands were saying, no. We're not going to keep pumping this out. This is for emergencies. And having to work out at 4:30 with Laura at the YMCA is not an emergency, Emily. This is what my adrenal glands were telling me. So I would literally be drinking coffee, and then it finally got to where it had the opposite effect. I couldn't keep my eyes open. 1 sip and I'd be falling asleep. And I Googled, why am I so tired all the time? And the number one reason we're so tired all the time is coffee. Isn't that ironic? I just love irony. The Bible's full of it. Paradigm shifts. If you want to save your life, you have to lose your life. So much irony. So many things where the truth is opposite of what you'd think. The number one reason people experience chronic fatigue is coffee, caffeine. So I switched to decaf just so I could enjoy the routine and the flavor, which is gross anyways. It's just, coffee's gross. That's why we have to add so much. I watched this guy at a diner once put a bunch of salt in his coffee. And he leaned over to me and he was like, have you ever put salt in your coffee? And I was like, no. And he said, it takes the bitter taste away. I was like, really? I want to try that. I'm trying so hard to come up with a good coffee routine. So I took my black decaf coffee and I added salt to it. And it was the strangest thing. He was exactly right. It took away all the bitterness. I turned that cup of black decaf into a cup of black hot water. There was no flavor, no taste. And I thought, isn't that strange? Without the bitterness, there's nothing. There's a sermon in there somewhere, isn't there? People in our lives, all they do is contribute bitterness. And without the bitterness, there's not a whole lot there. Let me encourage you. Let the Lord lead you. And Greg and I realized years ago, he would rather us spend, instead of 1,000 hours on one person that doesn't want to hear it, he'd rather us spend 1 hour on 1,000 people. It's kind of surprising at times when the Lord encourages us to let go and move on and move forward and be more productive. That's what I've done with relationships these past few years. COVID helped. COVID was the catalyst to rearrange my relationships. Do you know you can only have between 30 and 35 close relationships in your life? I learned that years ago. There might need to be some people in your life that you have a healthy distance from so that you have room and capacity for better, more nutrient-dense, more nourishing connections. And as everything else, things wax and wane and have a season. Ecclesiastes chapter 3, everything has a season. Maybe you're close with a few people now and then you won't be later, and you can be close again with some other people that you were close with years ago. Things can wax and wane, and we can stretch and grow. And we can let go of a few things in our life, including plants. Most teas lower blood pressure. I have to be very careful with teas. Not anymore, because they went in my trash can. I'll add music and a bunch of pictures. No, I won't. Forget it. No. I have laundry I want to fold, as usual. I'm not going to add pictures. I'm not going to just picture, just imagine. I sent it to Karen the other day. I put all my tea and all my coffee in the trash can and sent her pictures. And then I tore open some of the tea and poured it in my hand and looked at it. It's the same thing as any other drug. It's a plant that's refined. I had peppermint tea about a week ago, 2 sips, maybe 4, but it was less than half of one of these cups, and they're small. Skinny, okay? Less than half of that. I felt my tongue a little numb, felt a little tingly, kind of odd. And then that night, I had horrible nightmares. Awful. I woke up exhausted. The whole rest of the day, I had this fog in my brain. Dr. Chafee talks about, I'm going to link this below in a playlist called No Plants. He talks about, in an interview with Lily Kane, about when the last 5% of getting your diet pure makes 95% of the difference. I could see that because these few little things we're holding on to are strings attached. But he said that his body was so pure that he was like, all right, I'll have a cup of coffee with my friends, but he would work out and work out and work out. Never could get sore. The man is buff. Looking like a superhero. But he drank 1 cup of coffee and he was like, whoa, my legs, my back, my arms, everything was so stiff and so sore. For like 3 weeks he couldn't work out like usual from 1 cup of coffee. Plants are no joke. Heroin. Opiates. These come from plants. Mushrooms. These psychedelic weed, pot, nicotine, all of these drugs, sugar, flour, they come from plants. And when we are truly sober or getting there, then we can tell. 2 to 4 sips. It was half of one of those cups. What is that, like maybe 3 sips of peppermint tea. One night, awful nightmares. The next day, such a terrible fog in my brain. I just felt like, oh my gosh, it was a struggle. It was a struggle to get through the day and function and take care of all these kids. I was just like, yuck. The peppermint tea. That night again, more awful nightmares. I started researching, does peppermint tea cause bad nightmares? Because, you know, I'd love to have some kind of tea routine at night to sip on something with no calories and just in the day and relax. Yeah, peppermint tea does cause bad nightmares, and I found a whole forum of all these people pouring into how to get the nightmares to be more intense. I was like, what in the world, you people? You want this? They were like, do this, do this, do this. Oh, the nightmares. No, for them it wasn't nightmares. It was like happy. It was dreams, vivid dreams. It was like a bunch of peppermint heads. Just a bunch of people that were so excited about the effects of the peppermint tea and how if you concentrate or do this, they had all these ideas for how to intensify the effect of the peppermint tea. Thomas DeLauer has over 10 million YouTube followers, I believe, and he talks so much about green tea and how great it feels, or how great the effects are, and weight loss this and weight loss that, metabolism this and metabolism that. But Dr. Chafee has convinced me. Our diet should be enough. Meat is enough. We don't have to turn to these drugs. I mean, really, it's what they are. I poured that green tea out in my hand and looked at it, and I thought, this dried, chopped up leaves, this is no different than weed. I mean, really, yes, it's going to have some kind of powerful effect on us. But, like I'm learning, a pretty negative, toxic effect. I know I'm sensitive. I tried taking birth control years and years and years ago when I first got married. It took 3 doctors to diagnose my erythema nodosum. I got to where I couldn't walk. Big red bumps all over my arms and legs. I was this close to not being able to walk. It took 3 doctors to tell me, oh my goodness, get off that medicine. Erythema nodosum. It was ugly and rough. The other day I actually had a spot pop up. It doesn't really ever go away. It just kind of goes into remission, I suppose. I'm highly sensitive. And I had a family friend years ago teach me that's a good thing. We want to be sensitive and stay sensitive, and that helps us have perspective and empathy and an awareness of what's going on around us, because we're not numb. We're present, awake, and of sober mind. 2 Peter 5:8. Be of sober mind, for the enemy, the devil, is like a prowling lion, looking for someone to devour. I tried with coffee. I tried with tea. And I quit, and it's a relief. So, I'm making this video right now to share with you that butter egg water is good. I just texted Karen and was like, oh my goodness, it's good. It's buttery and eggy. Okay, so seriously, it's piping hot, buttery, right? Like it's just so buttery. I do a half stick of butter and an egg yolk. And then I use my brawn to really get in there, all right? This is hot water, half stick of butter, 1 egg yolk. And then, and I'll redo it here. I'll do this just for you all. Okay. Also, now Dr. Chafee says if you are, your diet, if you're having to take a supplement, your diet is deficient in something. I don't know. I've been squirting this in there. I used to measure it. I don't anymore. I flipped the top open. This is Keto Chow Electrolyte Drops. I just flip this open, flip it upside down, and it starts dripping, and then I give it a good little squeeze. And that is about 1 teaspoon. Then I do 2 drops of J. Crow's Lugol's Solution 2% for iodine. Now, unless this expires, how could this company make any money? Because this right here, 2 drops a day, is going to last me 55 years. It's going to last me so long. Okay, here's my little deal here. This is what I did. Very hot water, and I just did the whole deal, but without the decaf coffee. And so good. Piping hot. You see the steam? Trust me, there's steam. Oh, there it is. Piping hot. The butter makes it so buttery, and the egg makes it eggnog-ish. So I thought a minute ago, I was like, oh, I could add some cinnamon. No, I won't, because cinnamon is a plant. And for now, I'm running this no plant experiment. And it's going really, really well. I'm going to title this CarniVLOG Pure and Simple. And butter egg water. Butter egg water. So this is just water, butter, and egg yolk, and then my electrolyte drops and my iodine. They actually add a little salt to it. I mean, it's good. This will be my drink of choice in the evenings. Again, I aim to get in, my last CarniVLOG, I talked about minimum to maximize. I aim to get in at least 1 stick of butter a day. If I get in more, hallelujah. But this would be a real nice little Christmassy kind of holiday party, kind of my own little drink. And there's nothing in there but good stuff. This is a true energy drink. Here's my thumbnail. All right, there's my thumbnail. It's good. It's a winner. It's a keeper. I have sensed God telling me lately, the clock is ticking. Hand it over. Simplify. Clean up your diet. I've texted Karen several times. I have been going through some pretty serious withdrawal. I didn't get out of bed yesterday until about 2:30 p.m. after being on day 8 of sugar withdrawal, and then also quitting decaf cold turkey. There might have been some oxalate dumping going on there. I'm not sure. It's been rough and wonderful, and every time I feel really, really bad, I think, I love this. I love that I'm getting through it. And I've been texting Karen, we've come too far. We know too much. And the Holy Spirit is asking too much of us for us to turn a blind eye and stuff ourselves with poison. The Holy Spirit never asks too much of us. But the tail end of that sentence makes that true. He's asking too much of us for us to turn back to those weak and miserable forces and move forward with integrity. We can't do both. We can't have come as far as we've come and know as much as we know. We can't have gathered this much data and all these pieces to this puzzle and then still make the same choices and decisions we were making even just a couple weeks ago. I want to end on this note. This little thing, I talked about it in a recent vlog and I just love it. Things to do. Clean, cuddle. Clean, cuddle. I am so motivated to clean up my diet, clean up my home, clean out the dog crates, clean out the backpacks, clean out my thought processes, clean up my mouth, my language, the words I choose, clean my home and the body I'm in. And all the while, flipping this back and forth, going from cleaning to cuddling. God is a God of order, and He is love. And I tell the kids, we can cuddle in a million different ways. We don't have to just sit on the couch with our arms around each other. We can cuddle by running around the house. We can cuddle by going for a walk. We can cuddle by racing. We can cuddle by laughing. We can cuddle by playing board games. We can cuddle physically, emotionally, spiritually. There's a million different ways to cuddle and a million different things to clean. That's it right there. It's taken me 25 years of being a wife and a mom to figure out what my to-do list is. And that's it. Clean and cuddle. All right, that's it for this CarniVLOG. Pure and simple. It's going against the grain. It's really taking the narrow path. It's not consuming what everyone around us is consuming. It's opening our eyes and being willing to see and hear the truth. Clean and simple. Butter, egg, water. And making it my mission to wake up every day and clean and cuddle. That's it. I love you dearly. We'll talk again soon. Bye.